We all know the story. A lone hero, orphaned by the world, journeys on an adventure to save it from something. Obviously, the orphaned hero trope is a cliche for a reason. It's probably one of the most iconic cliches in all of fantasy. But that is not necessarily the case. In the world of video games, there are lots of great families, and today I would like to take the time to celebrate them. These are the top 10 families in video games. Often imitated, but never duplicated, Splatoon's Squid sisters, Callie and Marie, actually cousins, remain, in a lot of ways, the most popular characters in the franchise. These are some of the first NPCs we ever saw for Splatoon, and instantly they became a huge hit with fans, with their fun designs and quirky personalities, and that love only grew as we learned more about them, and more things continued to happen. Most famously, the plot of Splatoon 2 involves Callie getting kidnapped, and it's up to Marie and Agent 4 to go save her. And when the two are reunited, you really feel this sense that you really have brought these two close cousins back together. And when you get into the deep lore, how they're actually secret agents and the granddaughters of legendary war hero Captain Cuttlefish and constantly do things to protect the city from behind the scenes, Callie and Marie really do demonstrate the fantasy and the fun of being idols while adapting it to this fun, unique, creative Nintendo IP. For a lot of people, myself included, they are the best characters that the series has introduced, and I would really like to see more of them going forward. It's very easy to forget, but in The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker, you are not going on an adventure to save Zelda. At least, not at first. You are on an adventure to save your little sister Errol. And back in the day, this was a huge deal because people really loved the character, they loved the dynamic with her and Link, and they really felt a genuine attachment to this character that really, truly is not on screen all that much throughout the adventure. Errol and Grandma really do a lot to humanize Link in this one and give him personal, familial relationships that really set him apart from the very stereotypical orphaned character that we typically get from these games. To date, this is the closest we've ever gotten to the character having a true family, and it is very interesting to see how this plays out and how the characters interact and how they develop throughout the entire experience. It is very difficult not to feel attached by the end of the game.
Here, here, here we go.
Aw, yeah, you knew it was coming. The Kongs, baby. Not just Donkey, Diddy, Chunky, Lanky, and Tiny, but every member of the Kong family. You know, Cranky, Swanky, Candy, Dixie Kong. The list goes on and on and on. Donkey Kong probably has the biggest cast of characters in a family tree in history. A lot of people don't even know how it all ties together with the original arcade Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Country and now Bonanza. You know, there's some speculation that Donkey Kong and Cranky Kong might not actually be the same. Like, it's all very confusing, but there can be no doubt that there are a lot of Kongs out there, and they all have very wildly different designs, personalities, and gameplay styles. These aren't just one-off characters. In Donkey Kong 64 specifically, they are frontline, mainstream playable characters. These are the protagonists of the Donkey Kong games, to the point where a lot of people were kind of put off by the fact that Diddy Kong was not Donkey Kong's primary sidekick in Donkey Kong Bonanza. These guys are all iconic, and even 25 years later, we still find ourselves asking where Lanky, Chunky, and Tiny have gotten themselves to. But I hold out hope that with the success of Donkey Kong Bonanza, we may very well may see these characters once again. There's something magical about returning to the Cosmic Observatory every time you collect a new star in Super Mario Galaxy. The countdown begins, and Rosalina thanks you for a hard day's work. And it really makes you think about what you're doing this for. Of course, you're powering the observatory, you're helping it move across the universe, but at the end of the day, what you're really doing is helping this family. You are helping the life cycle of the entire universe. Rosalina has this very powerful, overwhelming presence in Super Mario Galaxy to the point where a lot of people speculate that she may be God in the Mario universe. And her relationship with the Lumas and with your character, Mario, is just this really warm, just presence that is just a really nice change of pace from endlessly saving Princess Peach. Rosalina was one of my favorite characters in the Mario world for a very, very long time, and even now I still really like her, and I hope in the future that we continue to see more games featuring this character.
Corneria, fourth planet of the Lilat system. The evil Andross turned this once thriving system into a wasteland of near extinction. General Pepper of the Cornerian army was successful in exiling this maniacal scientist to the barren, deserted planet Venom. 5 years later, General Pepper noticed strange activity coming from Venom. James McCloud, Pigma Dangar, and Peppy Hare of the Star Fox team were sent to investigate. Upon their arrival, Pigma betrayed the team, and James and Peppy were captured by Andross. Peppy barely escaped Venom and returned home to tell James' son, Fox, about his father's fate. A few years have passed. Andross has again invaded the Lilat system. General Pepper has turned to a new Star Fox team headed by Fox McCloud to save Corneria and free the Lilat system.
It is very easy to forget that Star Fox 64 has this very powerful message to it. This idea of living up to your father's goals and making good on him and finishing what he started. It's not something that Fox really talks about at all, but in a lot of ways, he doesn't need to. This game does a really good job of kind of emphasizing how much Fox clearly loves and cherishes the memory of his father, which shines through his actions, not necessarily his words. This is what makes Star Fox 64's storytelling so compelling, is that the characters do their thing, and yet the motivations behind them, the feelings, like the clear anger that's there, all of that is left completely up to your imagination. Star Fox 64 is a very pure traditional video game in that respect, and that's what makes this setup so endlessly compelling and memorable. Fox clearly loves his father, and this game, its existence, its true ending, does nothing but exemplify that fact. As we all know, Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem is an absolute classic on the GameCube. It's mostly regarded as a horror game, but there are quite a lot of elements that are fairly overlooked about this game. You know, from the rather robust magic system to the very unique and compelling mechanics. But one of the things I really want to emphasize today is the game's plot. Its focus on the Roivas family and how over the generations they have collected information from over 1,000 years of the ancients manipulating humanity to set in motion a grand plot to end the invasion from the antagonist. It is an incredibly gripping narrative that really showcases the unique premise of this particular game. Not every character in this game is a Roivas, but those who are leave a very impactful, lasting impression on you, the player. And true to their inspirations from the Lovecraftian works, all of them are very well educated scholars who spend their lives combating the evils that exist beyond the mortal plane. It is really riveting stuff. And if you haven't played Eternal Darkness, I highly, highly recommend it and check it out. It is quite the experience. Dragon Quest V is an absolute landmark when it comes to role playing games, in which it creates an incredibly intricate, involving narrative that involves you growing up, finding a wife, and starting a family, and makes it this incredibly engaging experience that really makes it feel like you're living the life of your character. It's not just about going around and questing, it is about finding romance and making lifelong friends. And Dragon Quest V really, really does a great job emphasizing the value of family. It is a landmark title when it comes to this kind of thing. I only wish it was more well known in the West. Everyone knows who the Mario Brothers are. They're the most famous family in games, but there isn't a single series that features these two that emphasize their family dynamic more than Mario and Luigi. And for that reason alone, Mario and Luigi should be celebrated, particularly Mario and Luigi Brothership, which is by far the best Mario RPG ever made. But these games really strongly emphasize Luigi's role in the Mario Brothers dynamic. You know, he's smart, he's willing to stand up for his brother. He has a lot of things going for him even when he gets disrespected, you know, and Mario supports him wholeheartedly in spite of everything bad that happens to him. Like, it is a very wholesome, amazing dynamic, and I think these games more than anything kind of showcase just how much these two really genuinely love each other, and that is something that we really need to talk about more. I cannot believe this is number one. Fire Emblem Awakening, Crom's family, the whole reveal of Lucina and who she is and the background behind that is riveting stuff. And seeing just how she interacts with her family and gets along with both of her parents and tries her best to live up to their expectations and fight for your future, it is some of the best storytelling I have seen in any video game ever. If you haven't played Fire Emblem Awakening, do it. This is one of the best games on 3DS, one of the best games ever made, and should be celebrated as a hallmark title in gaming. If you know anything about me at all, this really shouldn't have come as a surprise. Ace Attorney is one of my all-time favorite things ever, not just video game. This is a series that I've adored ever since I discovered it. It's this heart-wrenching thing that really just gets to me every single time I play through Ace Attorney 3 Trials and Tribulations. And that game specifically really emphasizes the power, the lasting relationship between the Faye family members. You get a lot of different unique dynamics and insights into their unique culture and situation. And in spite of everything, the core members of the cast still remain close. They still care about each other very, very much. And it's really interesting to think about the ending to Trials and Tribulations, the context of this image. It really, really brings everything together, and it really emphasizes, I think, at how the heart and soul of Ace Attorney really does lie in these characters and their dynamic. And it's a shame that the series has ended now. I don't expect we'll ever see these characters in any meaningful capacity again, but we do need to like take a step back and acknowledge that this game is an absolute masterclass in storytelling and really emphasizes everything I love about video games.